Hey y'all. Everything is blowing around. I have the fan on high. Hopefully I will be able to edit out the background noise. But y'all, I think it's the last day of 90-degree weather. It's so humid. It's so humid, but that's okay. Do you know why? The Astros won the ALCS last night. They're going to the World Series. So all is right in the world. Yes, all is right in the world. And sorry, not sorry, if you're a Yankees fan. Okay, so I have a couple of... Okay, so the first thing that I want to talk about is last week I talked about Knit City, I talked about knitting at the estate, and I failed to mention that one of the biggest reasons that I was able to go to Knit City this year is because two different shops slash businesses, designers in Vancouver hosted me basically in their booths, in their areas. And so I need to say a huge thank you to my only Canadian yarn store stockist, Bad Anna's in Vancouver. She actually is about 3 or 4 blocks from the P&E, which is where Knit City is hosted every year. And she has kits for some popular patterns, like 3 skein kits that you could use for the suggested pattern or any shawl or design that uses 3 colors of fingering weight yarn. They're basically just Diane curated sets of yarn. So she stocks those, and she bought a bunch of sock yarn and mohair after Knit City and some of my most popular fall colors. So if you are looking to get some Suburban Stitcher yarn, you live in Canada, and you don't want to have to pay duties and crazy shipping and all of that stuff, then check out Bad Anna's in Vancouver. And the second designer that hosted me, and really that's where I spent almost all of my time at the show, was Holly Yo, who is a designer based out of Vancouver. She designed a brand new shawl collection, 3 new shawls, and I am going to be putting pictures here so that you can see all of them. What is so exciting is I am going to this week be hosting a giveaway for the fan is blowing so high, it's blowing my hair everywhere. It's fine. I am hosting a giveaway for 1 set of yarn for your choice of one of the 3 shawls that she just released out of Suburban Stitcher yarn. So you can choose whichever shawl that you like, and I will send you the, I can send you the pictured color sets, or if you have a different color set, then what is pictured, then I can do that for you as well. So you will get a kit to make the yarn, complete with pattern directly sent to you from Holly. So anybody who comments this week in the YouTube comments will be automatically entered to win that prize. So if you are interested, please make a comment. You can say which pattern is your favorite. And again, I will have put those there. Those here, they are beautiful shawl, kind of lacy, but not super feminine lace. And when I say lace, I just mean that there are yarn overs incorporated into the pattern that create holes, which sort of is lacy. But they're done in a way that is really, I feel like anybody could wear them. And they also incorporate some really cool cabled spines that are part of like the changing of direction of the pattern. It's really, really unique, really beautiful. And it allows the pattern to show as well as a beautiful skein of yarn. So I just think that y'all are gonna love these patterns. So if you are interested in winning a copy of one of the patterns as well as the coordinating yarn to knit it, then please comment here. This is only on the YouTube channel. I will not be putting this particular giveaway on Instagram. So comment if you're interested. So that is one piece of business. The second piece of business is I totally forgot to mention what is maybe my favorite purchase of Knit City, Vancouver. And I'm wearing them, and I'm going to take it off to show you. This was the first thing I purchased, and I think that I have worn them every single day since I bought them. I met, last year technically I met her at Knit City, but then I really got to know her, and the her that I speak of is Kristen McIntyre, who is a gorgeous jewelry designer. And Kristen uses natural, like botanical leaves and plants and flowers to make stamps to then stamp onto her jewelry. And it makes some of the most unique and beautiful jewelry that I've seen. And so this is a pair of earrings that I purchased. Again, I have worn them every single day since I purchased them. Let's see. Will that focus? It's trying. There we go. Okay, so it's a beautiful kind of bronzy, coppery disc, and then with a sterling silver hook. They're pretty small, as you can see, like they're not overpoweringly large. Let's see if I can get that to focus. There we go. So yeah, they're really beautiful. Kristen McIntyre. She makes buttons, she makes earrings, necklaces, bracelets, all sorts of needles, like darning needles and rings, and so many tools and beautiful things for people and knitters. So yeah, so I got those, and I will have put her information and her website down here somewhere. So please make sure that you go over and check her out. Like I said, I did not have much time out of the booth to shop and mingle, but the first purchase that I made when I did have time later on Saturday in the marketplace, I beelined to her booth because I knew that she would have some unique, beautiful, one-of-a-kind pieces, and I wanted to try and get my pick from her. So I'm very happy with what I purchased. Okay, so knitting. I haven't finished anything this week. I feel like I've worked on a million things, but I'm loving everything that I'm working on. So, first up, I have put in some work on my Stonecrop Pullover. And, oh, you know what? The light is going to be weird because I did not turn on the light. Wow, let's just really screw things up right now. Does that make it better or worse? I don't know. I have to turn off the light to only get the natural light in. I feel like it makes such a big difference in color accuracy. Anyway. Okay, so this is my Stonecrop Pullover. The main color is Suburban Stitcher Pure Sock in the pumpkin colorway. And I am using Spin Cycle dyed in the wool for the accent color work. This is pumpkin. That's pretty accurate, I think. It's a good, warm, pumpkin-y color that is very reminiscent of like a pumpkin pie after it's baked. Not super dark pumpkin. I love it so much. And like I said, I'm using the Spin Cycle dyed in the wool. I have my little Simply Serving ghost cookie stitch marker to show my beginning of the round. So that's really exciting. I'm loving working on that. Since last we spoke, I did technically start the second sock of my Sax Point socks. I'm in the middle of a row, which is stupid when they're like 30 stitches. That's ridiculous. That must have been like mid carpool or something. So I have the toe, I'll have to count, but it's probably nearly done. And then I'll be able to start with the plain striping on this one. So it's at a good travel point now, which is great. That's what I like to get to. Last week I also really did a bunch of work on my, what is this called? Spring Cleaning Shawl. This is a pattern by Stephen West, and I have been really trying to focus on this because I am going to take a class from him next month. November 6th, I believe, at the Modern Skein. And so I am on the last section, and this is all using Suburban Stitcher hand-dyed yarn, 7 or 8 different colors. Most of my neutrals and very pale speckles are in here. So yeah, so I am on the last section right here. It's got to get nice and big like this one. So it's just started. I've got maybe 80 more garter stitch rows. So quite a bit, but each row gets shorter. So it does seem to go quickly as you keep going. Colors are Rorschach, March Hare. This is, what is this? This is, just totally went blank. Whisper is this one, I know, and this is, gosh, that's embarrassing. I can't even remember my own color. It's the light bluish gray that I used in my version of the Suburban wrap. I have no idea. That's ridiculous. La Boheme. Doily is the section 6 that I finished this week, and then I am knitting with the last section is one of my brand new neutrals, kind of it's called Antique, and it's just an antique-y, like brownish gray color. So it's getting really, oh, and the dividing color is Lanyap. It's kind of a mid to dark toned pink with speckles. But the speckles really sort of don't make a pop in this because of the way that it's knit, which is fine. That's kind of what I wanted. I wanted it to read more solid. So yeah, so I'm working on this. It's very travelable if it's a place where I can pull out a bigger project. This is not a church project. This is more a carpool project and a knit group project, something like that. And that is living in a fat squirrel bag that I purchased at SSK this year. So that is thing. And the last thing that I started is a brand new project. And it's because I mentioned it last week. I am so excited about the yarn. Like what I'm buying now is yarn that I either can't dye myself or can't get myself, or it's very, very, very special. And so that means that I buy it generally with an exact project in mind that I'm excited to get going on. And so I started it. I started my Magpie Darling scarf. And this is knit with Wool Addicts by Lang Yarn. Water by Wool Addicts, I guess. This has a color number, I guess 1003. Not really sure. But it's this really pretty pinky coral. No, it's just like a dusty pink. And then I stripe in occasionally. You can see the glittery red with sequins. And that's this color. But because the strand is so thin, it just makes these really subtle, sparkly stripes. And I'm absolutely loving the effect of it. So hold it close so you can see the texture and the sequins. Could not be easier. Amanda Kafka of the Crafty Jackalope is so smart with combining textures in the yarn into simple designs that just make the biggest impact. And this is no exception. So I'm very excited about this. It's super easy knitting. Super, super, super easy knitting. The only reason it hasn't traveled anywhere with me is because it's 2 skeins kind of on and off, and things get a little bit tangled, and it's just easier. Like, it's kind of the project that I've been knitting on in the mornings. I just have this like morning journaling and quiet time routine that I do every day. And then when I have a few minutes kind of left and maybe I'm watching a podcast or kind of waiting for my kids to get up and going, I knit for a little bit on this. And this is in a Mrs. Brown's Bee Splat bag, which is one of my favorites. I love her bucket bags because they just sit here nice and wide open. Perfect for a project that is kind of sitting on the couch next to you or on your desk, and you pick up and knit on here and there, which is exactly what this is. So that is it for the knitting this week. It's a lot of things, a lot of variety, some progress on things, but it feels like scattered progress because I am who I am. Okay, so I have one new acquisition this week, and I'm very excited about it. I actually already wound up one skein because, again, going back to being excited about this like specific and intentional yarn that I'm buying these days, I purchased 2 skeins of, this is the Ranch 02, which is the brand new, just released on Wednesday or Thursday this week, Brooklyn Tweed yarn, Ranch 02, American Rambouillet wool, all sourced from Forbes Ranch in Casey, Wyoming. And I purchased 2 skeins in the burdock colorway, which is a really pretty green, kind of mossy green, mossy pastury green. Medium toned, I would say. It's not really dark, but it's certainly not pastel. And I am going to be making the hat that was designed specifically for this yarn. It's by Jared Flood. I cannot remember the name of the pattern. It might be called the Forbes hat, but I could be wrong, because this is from the Forbes Ranch. But again, I will put that down here, but it's just a beautiful hat that has amazing cables and awesome techniques and textures. And I love that kind of knitting. I just don't have time for large scale projects with that kind of knitting. And so a hat where I get to really explore some complicated cabling without the time commitment of like a large sweater is really, really exciting. So, and I think it's going to be I know it's a gender neutral hat. So I will knit it hopefully at a size where either me or either one of my sons can wear it, because the green certainly is a good gender neutral color, which is perfect. That's it for what I received this week, and that is, I hand wound that last night as I was watching the Astros, and this yarn is just amazing. If you can get your hands on a skein or 2 or 12, it is 100 yards of worsted weight per 50 gram skein. So it is a worsted weight yarn in a worsted spun, I believe. You can see it's very, is it worsted spun? No, it's woolen spun, excuse me. 3-ply woolen spun, and yeah, 3-ply woolen spun, but it is a worsted weight yarn. Say that 3 times fast. It's a very round, just a very round and nice, plump and spongy and bouncy yarn because of the nature of Rambouillet. So again, so excited. Okay, shop news is next. I had a shop update on Friday with some sock yarn that was some new colors that I just dyed this week after getting back home, and then also some stock that was that traveled around with me and that I've added back to the store. What I want to highlight is 2 new colors that are in the shop for the first time. The first color, and these are all in sock yarn because that's what was restocked this week for the most part. This is called Oslo, and it is a gray and kind of warm toned brown with brown speckles. It is a very unique in the sense that dye lots definitely will differ. So if you are purchasing for a sweater, you would want to make your purchase all at the same time. This is Oslo. It's potentially my new favorite neutral and will be a sweater for me very soon. And then this is a brand new color that I dyed this week that I'm hoping to be able to recreate. I think I should be able to. It's called Steampunk. And it's a beautiful kind of mauve base with some purple overtones and some golden yellow speckles and splashes of color, and then these speckles of, let me find a good one to show you, a good spot. Right here I think is a good one. There's like these spots that have these awesome olivey ochre speckles that are really fabulous. So yeah, right there. Just the lights and darks and color play in this one. Like there's a bunch of orange. Again, I think this would be gorgeous with anything. I think it's absolutely beautiful with Oslo. I think it's beautiful with Chicory, which is a new color. These are beautiful together. And then here's Antique, which is that color that I am putting in my spring cleaning shawl. All of these are in the shop, and everything for sure can be custom ordered. The only one I don't know, everything except for Steampunk, I haven't tried to recreate it other than this one batch yet, so I will try this week. If I can recreate it, then I'll add it to the custom order page. If I can't, then I won't. But for now, if you really like it, go ahead and get some because it may or may not be able to be done again. I have kits in the shop. This coming Friday, the whatever the date is, 25th, I think. 24th or 25th will be the next shop update, and that will have a ton of DK weight yarn. I should be receiving my box of yarn left over from Knit City on Monday, and so that will be the big restock of DK weight yarn in so many fall colors. It will be the restock of the first time I have listed Knit Night kits. It will be, I think those are the biggest things. And then I will also be dyeing up, it'll just be a big DK weight heavy update. Last week I also added in sock yarn on Sea Smoke and pumpkin and a bunch of other colorways that are good fall colorways. There's a ton of mohair in the shop right now, a ton of sock yarn. I'm looking to see. I added some new minis in Oslo, Steampunk, Eggplant, Velvet Magenta, and then some other colors. And then I also have one thing, let me grab and show you. So this is a mini skein set that I'm calling the Gray to Black Fade, or Gray to Black Fade-ient. It's a Fade-ient. Oh, Gray to Black Gradient or Fade. And this is the set that Holly Yo used one of these and then 2 skeins of sock yarn for one of those shawls that was released in her brand new collection. So I have listed a bunch of these 5 20-gram minis into the shop, and they are ready for purchase. You can purchase them individually, and that way you can pick your 2 favorite colors to make the wrap as pictured by Holly, or you can just get one of these and use it however you like. But these are in the shop ready to ship. And if you have other colors that you would like to see fades of or mini sets of, if that's something that you're interested in, please let me know. I want to have in the shop what you want to see. And so if great mini sets are it, then let me know and I can start working on having that more regularly in the shop. Okay, I think that's it for now, for today. Thank you so much for watching. Keep knitting, keep crocheting and weaving and doing all of the wonderful fibery things that you love. If you were fortunate enough to be one of the few of us in the knitting world that gets to go to Rhinebeck and the entire weekend of events that occur in the Hudson Valley this weekend, then I hope you had a lovely time. From the pictures that I have seen on social media, it looks, as always, like it was a wonderful time, and I hope that if you got to participate, that you just soaked it all up and had so much fibery fun. That's it for now, and I will see you next week. Bye, y'all.